The skies over Europe are heating up. Russia on high alert as the United States deploys dozens of F-22 fighter jets to Poland. Tensions in Europe have risen again after the United States announced the deployment of dozens of F-22 Raptor stealth fighter jets to Poland. This move is seen as a strong signal from Washington to Moscow amid growing conflict and geopolitical uncertainty in Eastern Europe. Russia responded quickly, raising its military alert status and warning that any provocation at the border would be met with decisive action. The arrival of the F-22s in Poland was described as part of joint NATO exercises, but many observers believe this move is more than just a routine military exercise. The F-22 is not a fighter jet that is deployed lightly. Its presence signals the United States' full readiness to deal with a potential escalation involving Russia. This fifth-generation fighter jet is known for its stealth capabilities and sophisticated radar, which surpasses almost all modern fighter jets in the world. For Russia, this move is clearly a provocation. The Kremlin has called the deployment of the F-22 an attempt by the U.S. to expand its military power in Europe and threaten regional stability. A spokesperson for the Russian Ministry of Defense even said that Moscow had ordered air defense units in the western region to be on full alert, including the S-400 missile system and Su-35 fighter jets, which are now deployed at several strategic bases near the border. A number of analysts believe that the deployment of F-22s to Poland is part of the United States' deterrent strategy against Russian aggression in the region. Since the Ukraine conflict reignited, NATO has strengthened its presence in member countries that share a border with Russia, such as Poland, Romania, and the Baltic states. The aim is to provide security guarantees and show that any threat to NATO members will be faced together. However, this move has also caused great concern among the European public. Many believe that the deployment of stealth fighter jets could actually exacerbate the situation and lead to misunderstandings that could potentially result in armed confrontation. Some European countries have even urged that diplomacy remain a priority before the conflict escalates to a more dangerous level. On the other hand, Washington insists that the deployment of the F-22 is merely a preventive measure. According to the Pentagon, this step is part of an air power rotation to strengthen the alliance and ensure readiness for any eventuality. The United States is trying to project an image that it is ready to protect its allies, without intending to provoke a direct confrontation with Russia. However, for Russia, the word preventive does not necessarily reassure them. The country sees the U.S. action as a form of military pressure that violates the psychological boundaries of their national security. Russian media even highlighted that the presence of F-22 jets in Poland has forced Moscow to increase air patrols in the western region and strengthen their electronic intelligence to detect any foreign military movements. Another factor that complicates the situation is Poland's direct involvement as the host country. The Polish government enthusiastically welcomed the arrival of the F-22 jets, calling them clear evidence of NATO's solidarity. However, for Moscow, Poland's move is considered a high-risk action that could make the country a prime target if tensions escalate into open conflict. Not only that, several sources say that Russia has begun moving a number of medium-range missile systems to the Kaliningrad region. A Russian exclave located between Poland and Lithuania. This move reinforces that Russia will not remain silent. Kaliningrad itself is known as one of the most militarized regions in Europe, so every movement there is always an important signal to the international community. The air tensions over Europe are now the focus of global attention.